We're on. Good morning, everyone. We're doing another page today. Page 10. So, here's what we did yesterday. I think. No. We did this guy yesterday. Yeah, that looks familiar. So, I'm Ryan O'Connor. I'm inking my first graphic novel, Bonehead. Bonehead is this guy. And he's not in the story yet. So let's get into the next page, and I'll do all the chores of explaining what the idea is here. Okay. Why can't I just have it be tight? There we go. I was fixing something a moment ago. Okay, so I didn't even do the panels on this one yet. Here, let me pull it out while I do that. That might work out better. So I realized, that I didn't do the panels yet. What's that? Oh, that's a refill for one of my Copic multiliners. That's cool. Okay, I forgot. I don't remember where I got that. Okay, so one of these days I'll have to figure out how to switch it. I don't remember if I've done that already, but so yeah, I've been using these Copic multiliner 0.5s for the panel borders. Okay. Bring it in a tiny bit. Here is that. Now I usually just go through all the horizontal lines first, and then do all the vertical stuff. The horizontal are more or less, because I tend to do 3 columns, or 3 rows of 2 columns. I break my panels up into, it's basically a 6-panel grid. This one only has 5 panels. But, if I broke up every page evenly, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And most of my pages are just a variation of that as needed. So usually I have 3 rows. And then this middle break comes in wherever. But when I do all the horizontal lines, it's kind of like boom, 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 and then it's kind of more tough out what follows. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if anything makes any sense. Heck, for all I know, I'm a jabbering mental patient in an asylum somewhere. Look at my crummy face sneaking in. Ooh. You know what I didn't do? I didn't eat anything for breakfast. And that could be a bad idea, because I'm just all the time hungry lately. So What the heck is Bonehead? Who cares? So Bonehead, like I say, he's this guy. He's that little cutie. Ain't he sweet? Ain't he cute? And Bonehead is the star of my 235-page graphic novel that I'm working on. It's my first graphic novel. Because it said, I'm done not making things as an artist. Well, I made a 16-minute cartoon of him, about him, that I'll have to put on this YouTube channel soon. But now I'm making a graphic novel. And so Bonehead, he's this he's kind of a goof off slacker in a way. And at the beginning of the book, he decides he's going to start getting his life together. So he's gotten a promotion. He's going to ask his girlfriend to marry him. But then he finds out that his bosses are... dang it. Overshot it. Oh, we'll fix that. So he finds out his bosses are closing down the poison factory he works at. And that's gonna mess up all his plans. Bonehead's plans. So he finds out that there is this top secret project that his bosses were working on. And so he steals it so they can't shut down the factory like they wanted to. And it kind of gets him wrapped up in all kinds of... It gets him wrapped up in this interplanetary fiasco, as I've been putting it. And it's filled with monsters, ghosts, devils, skeletons. Though the skeletons, ghosts, and devils are just the people in where Bonehead lives, the city where Bonehead lives, called Necropolis. But that is to say, just all the characters are kind of fun. Everybody's kind of something. Like Petunia is Bonehead's ghost girlfriend, and her co-worker, her fellow waitress, is she's like a slug woman named Gladys, who almost wasn't in this book, but I added her into a scene at the very end. I mean, of drawing this book, I added a scene in the middle of the book. That is. I kind of can't wait for the next page. I wonder if I'll be able to get to that today. Oh, and if you like my art, here, let's fix that. If you like my art, you can follow me, like this channel, as this channel is called Wrangleshank. You can follow me at Wrangleshank on Instagram, Twitter, And the links are in the description below, as well as some links to some of my friends' stuff. My friend Kat was on yesterday, chatting with me. And oh, that's what I was gonna say. So yeah, I used my Copic multiliner to do the panel. I use these Jelly Roll white pens for I think is part of what I looked up looking for them originally. But I think if you just look up Jelly Roll white pens or something on Amazon, you'll find them. They come in packs of 2 usually, I believe. At least that's what I've gotten so far. This is number 8. I don't know if that matters. I don't know what other sizes they have. Yeah, because I just got this. Okay, now I think I'm gonna pour me some ink. I've been doing this book with an ink and brush, or with ink and brush. Not ash. What am I, American? Okay, and I just whoa. Yeah, and that'll go a long way. So we'll bring it in a teensy piece. And furthermore, the brush I use. So if you must know, the ink I'm using is Handy Art Black Velvet Waterproof India ink. I don't think the Handy Art part is important at all. That I think that's just a Hobby Lobby brand. But Black Velvet Waterproof India ink. And then the brush I'm using is what the greatest cartoonist known to man uses, or used at least. Bill Watterson on Calvin and Hobbes would use the Winsor & Newton Series 7 Kolinsky Sable brushes. And this is a size number 2. I started inking this book with a 3, but it was getting a little fuzzy on me, and I switched to a 2. I probably could get it cooperating with me again if I put some effort into it, the 3, but 2 works, and it's been working for me just fine. I thought there was something on my brush, but it was just my mental illness or something. Actually, there was some kind of old ink crumb. This paper that I'm fine-tuning my point on. See, I just kind of roll the tip of my brush on a paper I have off to the side, trying to tighten my point. That might be as good as I'm going to get right now. Dang it. I do a little tighter. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it. Yeah, normally I haven't been doing the borders on camera, but I was about to do them off camera today. But I was like, I'll just do it on camera. Part of my thinking on that kind of goes with the title of this stream. Getting started is the hardest part. Because sometimes I'm like, I really need to just get started. Instead, I keep putting off the, like, hitting start stream or whatever. Like, why not just do the ink the panels on the stream? Yeah, sometimes, a lot of times, getting started is the hardest part of anything. For me, especially in art, because as much as I like drawing, getting started on a project is just daunting because it's hard. It's not as fun as it is like just like kind of like this internal duty I feel, you know? Like I need to be a guy who draws. I need to believe I'm an artist. But then oh, okay. Knocked my own brush apart. Yeah, because actually me and my friend Kat that was talking with me yesterday, she was talking about this with me a few days ago where she said some teacher uh, kind of told her when she was going to art school. Did she go to art school? I forget. Somebody was talking about like you're an artist, you'll never shake the the, the thing of like, oh, I don't remember exactly. I think I might be butchering it, but so I won't rope that into it. But the thing is, like, I feel like the artist thing is my identity, and if I ever drop the art thing, it's kind of like my whole life has been a lie. So there's like a thing in me where I can't uh, let that slip out of my life. Like I see other people do, and it makes me sad. But that means to me that I have to draw every day. And I'm kind of like almost religious about that. Ooh, there's just this flyaway hair on here. I hate when it gets all like frazzled looking, the brush. So I have to draw every day is kind of the idea. But then But then it becomes like a duty, kind of a chore. And you know, a lot of times I'll get up in the morning, like today. It's like, man, I don't even feel like drawing. Who wants to draw? Pu. I'm gonna stay in bed forever. Well, you know, you're not. It's like, you know, that's not being not honest. What's the thing I want to say? You know, that's not like the part of you that you're supposed to listen to, right? So I don't know, but it lives in me with it, like just about everything I do. It's like I don't want to do the right thing. I want to do the easy thing. I want to do the. I want to be lazy. I want to be. I mean, like, and not to disparage people who feel that way. I'm just saying, like, I want to be lazy. I want to lie in bed. I want to watch cartoons. I wanted to watch another artist's drawstring actually, and I kept putting off starting today. And you know, you got to be honest with yourself about what you want. And something I always say is don't trust your emotions. Don't trust what you feel because your emotions are like a drug. You know, it's not. I don't think it's good for you to just blindly follow your emotions. I really think that's a bad impulse because emotions are huge deceivers. And I mean, happiness is, sadness is, anger is, they're huge deceivers. It's my belief. Let me get this off the table. And I'm going to move this guy off too. Move that over there. Let's get some breathing room in here. Sucker. Okay. But yeah, emotions are liars. Is kind of what I say. So I really try not to let them dictate my actions. I try, with varying results of varying degrees of success. I try to do what I believe is right, what is correct, what is moral, even in life. I try to follow what I believe over my own emotions and my own. If I can, if I feel, or if I feel, bad choice of words. If I think I'm just doing something for convenience sake and not because it's what I should be doing. Let me think of an example. It's like, if I like throw a bunch of dishes in the sink, and in the back of my head, I'm like, well, I don't really have time to do dishes right now, and so my roommate can take care of it, or something like that. Even something like that. I'll go, well, it's not. Do you not have time, or do you just want somebody else to do it for you? Are you just shoving your chores onto somebody else? And that's kind of how I try to. I do catch myself with stuff like that all day, every day. And when I do, I try to tell myself to do the right thing. Just do the dishes right now. Don't be a jerk. Don't be lazy. Don't be. Same with putting off starting my page. Same with writing this story. Also, I I I've drawn every page of this book, the 235 pages. I just need to ink it. But um, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, I know what I was gonna say. Um, just a moment. I actually just forgot again. Um, so like I've written the whole book and I've drawn it already, but I know it needs to be rewritten still, right? I did, and part of that is like it's mostly dialogue that I need to fix. I was kind of self-correcting here and there and kind of fixing story stuff while I went. I added something like, I don't know, 20 pages after I drew the whole thing. I added like 4 scenes. And then when I actually go in and put the dialogue in, I'm going to be doing so much editing of my script, because it still needs work. But I knew it was at a point where I could get started, and so I didn't belabor the writing any more than I already had. Honestly, I planned on writing this story in the first month of 2019 in January, and it unexpectedly took me 3 months to write it, and before I had a satisfying version of it for myself. But I was kind of like at odds with it still. I was like, well, I don't know. Is good? Like, maybe I should rewrite it one more time or something. And I was like, no, let's not keep starting over. Let's just actually get started telling the story. And yeah, when I was translating the script to penciled pages, I was able to edit on that level, and it was, so I was kind of doing that, but actually getting somewhere on making the project. So, like, don't cheat yourself out of, don't cheat yourself into wasting time just to make something perfect. I think I think that's a pitfall for a lot of artists, even just writers. Like, people are always sacrificing projects because they never let themselves actually get started. I know that was me for many years. Like, all throughout my teens and 20s, I always say I wasted so much time not starting projects, and I have nothing remarkable to show for my teens and my 20s. And I feel like I should have been making books the whole time or cartoons the whole time. I won't do that one. It'll just muddy up that area. You know, like, the other thing is, like, I know so many artists who don't draw, and I think it's like the worst habit to have is to just not practice your craft. Um, like, I was a big doodler, but when it came time to make any real art, like lay down ink and color stuff, and like, I would just fill up notebooks with mechanical pencil drawings. I still draw with mechanical pencils, but I've stopped myself from drawing in notebooks because I wanted my art to start being finished pieces. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, my sketchbooks used to be just, college bound notebooks and stuff. But now I just doodle. Usually I just doodle a character of some sort, and then I ink it and I color it in, and I try to do that every day. I missed a couple days this week, but I try to do a finished character or something just about every day. And this background is phony. I hate this background, but character's all right. That's a ripoff of Rafiki's staff too, but I threw a skull on there. And this is a ripoff of Doug TenNaples' Newt's character. I I got the word tadpole in my head, and so I tried to draw a tadpole. And I gave him arms and legs, and he just looks so much like Herc from Newts that I had to acknowledge that in the caption because uh, it was an accident that he even looked like him, but it was just he just happened to look just like him. Yeah, so I mean, I think a good idea to help you get started though is to make yourself do a little bit every day, and it'll help you get into the swing of getting started and kind of like kind of getting into the swing of not being intimidated by a blank page. It helped me with that to just draw something every day, and to draw something at least relatively finished and presentable was kind of my goal when I started doing my sketchbook drawings every day. The idea was like I can spend at least 15 minutes a day drawing and coloring something in, and I'll post something every day that is colored. And before long, it was like I was I realized I kind of had way more than 15 minutes a day to draw something with like a full-time job as well. And it's like, after a while, it was like I never realized how much free time I had until I stopped doing a lot of things that were wasting my time. And I animated a 16-minute cartoon that year that I've still yet to put up on this channel, but we'll get there. And then I drew a 235-page book. So, not for nothing, I really think getting yourself into the habit of just drawing something every day it's like the best thing anyone can do to help them start getting started a little easier. And like even today, I was sluggish about getting up and going, but even if I didn't start in the morning, I'd have done a page today, like no doubt about that. But I always make it a point to squeeze in. I really try to squeeze in a sketchbook drawing every day. Right now, I've done at least one page every day, and since I started inking this book, and I'm on page 10, but there were like 7 like lead-in front material pages of the book that I did, and then I also did the front and back cover, so it's like 9 pages on top of that, so it's kind of my 19th page, and I've done them across 19 or 20 days or something like that. Maybe 21, because I know there was one day I had to take off. Like I didn't draw anything because I had to be like 4 different places that day. and drawing was just totally out of the cards, which kind of makes me itchy anymore. Like a day, and I even brought my art bag. Like I brought a bag with me, with my sketchbook and art supplies in it, and I just never ended up touching it. But you know, sometimes it's beyond what you can do. But I really try not to give myself excuses if I can help it. Somebody was in here and gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Appreciate it. And also, here's something which kind of helped get me going today. Now, I think I started the stream around 10:15 for me. Here, let me get this real quick. And there is something, at least for me, to doing this on a live stream, even though I don't get many viewers right now, because I've kind of more or less just started this thing. But also, maybe I'll never get more viewers. But kind of doing it publicly, making a public presence of my work, documenting it publicly, kind of. I just it's Chris, my buddy. He's a musician, and his links are in my description, where you can buy his album or listen to it on Spotify. Morning, how you doing? But doing this publicly helps keep me honest, and I knew that would be a thing, because it's worked in life before. Just like telling everybody I'm gonna do something helped me kind of follow through on it. Just kind of like talking, like bringing it up in conversation, like I'm gonna make a cartoon this year, and then people would start asking me like, how's your cartoon coming? I like, if I didn't have progress to tell people, I'd feel like embarrassed or something. And that might not work for everybody, but it kind of made me accountable to my word, accountable for my word. Like, I had to put my money where my mouth was. And that's kind of the thing with this. Like, I was like, man, you usually start around 10 o'clock. People are gonna know you're slacking. Perpetually tired. At least I can stream this while working. Yeah. That was kind of my thing this morning. I didn't want to get out of bed. It's kind of what generated this topic. And I have to do this page this morning because I gotta be somewhere tonight. I'm not as excited about this page as I am the next page. Oh, I can show you. So, he's storming out of the castle because he's not getting what he wants. from the king. He's mad. And then I don't know, I'm not sure what he says there, but he stops and he sees the orb thing that he wants. And he's like, whatever, I'm going to get it anyway. And so he picks up this rock. He starts going to where that is. And he's approached by this robot that's like reciting the history of the orb thing that he's after. Like, in 1492. And he takes the rock and just bashes the robot's head in. And he's going to go steal the thing. So I'm excited for that one. A little more than this one. And I might be able to get to it today. We'll see. We'll see. I'm still on panel 1. What the heck? I gotta buckle down. So I think on previous pages, I was a little concerned about not leaving enough room for dialogue. So it looks to me like I was kind of going into this page with that in mind. I definitely gave myself plenty of room for dialogue. And I think what I think what I'm going to have to do on a handful of panels throughout this book is when I scan them in, I'm going to have to sorry, my brain's melting. I think for a lot of panels throughout this book, after I scan them in, like for when I color it, I think I'm probably gonna have to like take the art in a lot of panels and just shrink it down, and then just kind of like continue it to the sides digitally, continue it to the panel border digitally, like just add lines or black out farther, and like shrink the content of the panel a little bit. But see, I'm like, I think the inclination would be for someone who's afraid of getting started, like probably me 4 years ago, I probably would be more inclined to just start the page over again and redesign stuff and like at the pencil stage. But I think it's better to just kind of plow forward and figure out how, I don't know, if there's a way to fix it at a later step. I don't know. That sounds like it could get irresponsible too. So I don't know. But see, I've got a plan on how I can fix that further down the line. And who knows? Maybe I'll be sorely disappointed in that decision. But I don't know. I should be able to pull it off. I mean, even if it results in a lot of digital drawing, which I don't think it will be too much. As long as the physical art looks good, that's my main concern right now. Because I know the story generally works. I mean, this story for me, for the most part, it works. It's right now it's kind of good enough, and I think if I really get my dialogue down, I think it'll be a good. It'll the story will be just fine. I don't know. I don't want to oversell my. I'm being cautious about overselling my storytelling skills, but I guess I'm just trying to say I'm mostly just concerned about making the art work, and you know, I don't know. I'm kind of losing my train of thought. Sorry. There's kind of a lot to focus on with a graphic novel. It's like running a marathon, because I'm concerned about telling a good story across so many pages. I want the art to look good. What else was I thinking? But I don't know. I just don't want to like linger on any part of it too long before, like, my old inclination with stuff. It's like, well, I don't know, if is the story even good enough? Maybe it's not worth telling. And I'm really trying to get myself out of that mindset, and just get a story out there to begin with. And it's like the story will work. I just have to, no matter what I do, I got to take it one step at a time. But it's like, what after I've gotten about as far as I'm going to get on writing it, then it's time to draw. And I when I draw, like after I've penciled it, I've kind of solved a lot of writing problems. And then while I ink it, I kind of have a lot of free time to think about how to solve any other writing problems, if that makes sense. Because the heavy lifting at this point has been done on the writing and the drawing. Now I'm kind of just inking it and thinking about how to solve for the next step, which is coloring and lettering. In coloring, I've gotten a lot of good tips from watching various other artists' live streams. There's a guy I followed. He's a colorist for DC named Gabe El Taib, and he had a really great channel. I don't know why, though. He got rid of all his videos. I'm still subscribed to him. I don't know when he did that, but he got rid of all his videos a while back. He I know he gets real like he's a big company man, and I think he might have just done it out of cautiousness for um, posting stuff. No, I don't know. He would always ask DC or whoever he was working for to like if he could like work on any given project on the on his YouTube channel before he would do it. So I don't know. Maybe he was just getting. Maybe he's just over YouTube. I see him on Instagram all the time. I don't know. Anyway, I learned a handful of things from him. I feel like I hope I can remember them. Is what I'm thinking now because his channel isn't there. But the guy I've talked about a bit on this channel as well, Brian Shearer, whose book Gunship Thunder Punch 2 you can back on Indiegogo right now. It's still in demand. He's drawing that right now. And you can also get Gunship Thunder Punch 1, which is like a Transformers type of space battle-y kind of story. I think he's saying it's going to be 3 parts, and if it's successful enough, he's got other stories he can tell with those characters. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but somewhere recently, it was like I was worrying about how I was going to color it a while back. I was trying to figure out how you do certain things and like on the color level, and it was like that week that I was thinking about like how do I do this? How do I do this? He kind of broke it down in some video, so he's helped me, and that's part of why I like listening to art streams is I get all these like little tips and tricks to kind of stick in my back pocket. I mean, not every stream will be filled with pertinent information, I guess. And it's just like I'm just listening to them on an entertainment level. And hopefully this channel is somewhat comparable to what I get out of other channels, is the hope. I think this has been one of the better shows where I'm kind of like really chatty on sort of helpful stuff. Instead of like this total low energy thing. I thought that was going to be what was going on today. Um, and then he ran out of stuff. So, so this guy is Denton Crux. He is, and this is him in the past. He's a scientist, and he eventually starts a. Here he looks like he's about to. He looks like a kung fu astronaut. But he eventually starts a poison factory that our hero Bonehead works at. And right now he's looking for this object that we saw on the next page. Which brings him here to this planet, planet Montana. And the king isn't willing to let him have it because they kind of need it to survive. Because the idea is when the planet was formed, it was like full of water, and which gave way to plenty of life on the planet. But the it was like the planet's proximity to its sun is such that it's like after society was formed and began thriving, it's like the planet started drying up, and like life wasn't really sustainable much beyond them beginning to thrive. So the life on planet Montana was starting to wither away. All the people were starting to die off, and then this meteor came out of the sky and this thing crashed to their planet that kind of like brought new life to the planet. It kind of, I don't know, is it magic? I don't know. But this object kind of kind of nourished their planet a little bit, or it brought. I forget exactly how I wrote the what it works, how it works, but in this scene, like it gets explained a little bit. I think this scene, yeah, somewhere. Maybe maybe I already drew that page. No, I don't think so. No, I think it's a later scene. My bad. But they kind of explain how it works a little bit, and and like this scientist Denton Crux for what he's working on. He was trying to find something with properties similar to those of this orb that crash landed on this planet. So he's after the same thing that's keeping this planet alive. And yeah. And apparently he's willing to do anything to get it, because he steals it even though that might mean everybody on this planet dies. Ooh, buggered it. Now this brush split on this line. Let's see if I can fix that. There we go. Deus Ex Machina. The him bashing the head of the robot. What is Deus Ex Machina? I always forget. Deus Ex Machina. A plot device whereby a seemingly unsolvable problem in a story is suddenly and abruptly resolved. Oh, the meteor itself, but yeah. Resolved by an unexpected and unlikely occurrence. Yes. Heavy on the rock. But the king credits it to the planet Montanans version of God, which they call the Big Hubbub. Does he have a belt? See, I was supposed to do what do you call it? I was supposed to do model sheets for these guys before I started inking, and I didn't. He has a belt here. Doesn't have one here. I'm gonna draw one there because I'm pretty sure he's supposed to always have the belt. And he does now. That whistling I was just doing. There's some old Looney Tunes cartoon with a quail, and he just does that throughout the cartoon. And he's constantly like his whistle is like him blowing his quail hair thing, his quail feather face feather out of his face like it's his hair. One of the best things about, and I haven't watched them in a while, one of the best things about HBO Max is that you can watch all those old classic Looney Tunes. I mean, you can see their new ones that they made for HBO Max as well, which are about as close as anything could get today. I would think they're good, but they're also a little like, you know, I was raised on the real thing, and it's just, it'll never be the same. But like, it is absolutely like an excellent shot at trying to do the same thing, you know what I mean? They're as close as anything I've seen try to pull off something like that. Like, actually, one of my favorite movies, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that is expertly done. But that, there were still like that guy who directed that movie, or the animation anyway in that movie, Richard Williams, who did that. He made that book, The Animator's Survival Guide, which I have around here somewhere. And that was kind of that was like required reading for when I was going to school for animation. That guy died last year. Yeah. So it's like all those like classic animators are kind of, and he was trained by like the 9 old men, the big shot animators of the golden age. So he was like the most qualified guy to kind of head up Roger Rabbit. Now he's gone. And now we have Jellystone on Cartoon Network. Has anyone seen Jellystone? Trailers for Jellystone? Maybe the show's out already. I'm pretty sure it is. And forgive me, artists that worked on Jellystone, but PU. You know, the whole thing with Hanna-Barbera was that it was simple. It was low budget. I guess not simple and low budget enough, huh? Cripes. There's no dedication to like aesthetic or beauty anymore. More accurately, beauty, I want to say. Not that Yogi Bear was beautiful, but criminy, maybe he was. This might be a little high-minded for the subject matter. It just made me think of it. So it's often said that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I would suggest that it is not in the eye of the beholder, and that beauty has true value. And there's a quote from G.K. Chesterton. Let me see. I know another place I can pull it up, but let me see. Chester. Let me see. Trying to look up a quote from Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. G.K. Chesterton. So I just want to do it justice. But I know, okay, so here, I'll just pull up this. I forget how directly Creature Tech references it. So here's my black and white copy, which is the first version of this book I wrote, but he now has a full edition that I also have over there on the bookshelf. So I'm just wondering if he actually like puts the quote in the front of the book. No, it doesn't look like it. But at the end of the book, spoiler alert, by the way. As I look at the world Nothing has really changed. Now, so yeah, I'm gonna get into some spoilers a little bit here. I don't really want to spoil the book. I'll just read this. As I look at the world, nothing has really changed. The evidence is the same, but I have changed. Like, and I guess I was just saying that maybe Yogi Bear was always beautiful. Like I said, I might have been trying to get a little too high minded about Yogi Bear here, but maybe Yogi Bear was always beautiful. But my perspective, and I never really thought of it that way, but my perspective was changed when I saw how else he could have been represented in this, like in the 60s or whenever they made Yogi Bear originally. Actually, was it earlier? I don't know things. Yeah, 60s, I'm pretty sure. And then in 10 years, 20 years, they'll do Jellystone Reborn, and we'll say the same thing about that being terrible. And Jellystone was, um, the Sistine Chapel. I'm going to, let's see. Play a song real quick while some old embarrassing from many years ago while I go to the bathroom real quick. If it'll let me. Okay. Romancing over the world, don't pretend that you didn't know. Consider yourself to be warned, I've officially told you so. The robots, they're watching us. They're collecting dust, pretending they're not. I'll be safe inside my hidey hole when robots take over the world. Robots take over the world, don't come knocking down my door. You should have done what you were told when I told you this all before. The robots, they're rising up. They'll outnumber us and finish us off. I'll be safe inside my hidey hole, telling you I told you so. When robots take over the world. Wasn't that lovely? I didn't even have to get a chance to grimace well while I played that. I got back just as it ended. Yeah, I need to take a day or two at some point. Hopefully I can take some time and figure out how to get some kind of like special features figured out for things to like cut away to for when I have to leave the table. Because frankly, that music isn't, it's not putting your best face forward, I suppose. Anyway, that. So the other day I played a demo of that song. And it was like real. Like I thought there was at least. I thought it at least had guitar in it, but it didn't. It was just me like. You cry every time you hear you hear that song. Oh, that's the thing I really wanted. I really want to do, since Kat reminded me yesterday. It's like I got to get that. No, me either. I'm glad I missed out. The Black Hat Bart. I got to get that from Tyler. I don't know why I don't have it, but that's a song I should put on one of these days. Because the skeleton character was the thumbnail art for yesterday's stream. Kat reminded me that that was something I drew as a concept for a video for that Black Hat Bart song that my roommate wrote that Chris made music for. And I think I'm pretty certain I'm on that track going, yeah, at one point. You can send it over. Yeah, I don't know how I don't have it. Somehow I never got a copy of it. But I mean, if you want, otherwise I can get it from Tyler one of these days. I don't even think I saw him yesterday. Did Tyler sing that track? I can't remember if you sang it or if he sang it. My roommate wrote a song some number of years ago about what an evil cowboy named Black Hat Bart. I don't even quite remember the context. We both did. I think his vocals are doubled up on the chorus. Okay. I'm pretty sure all I remember, at least off the top of my head, is there's like a duel, like a pistol duel in the song, and Black Hat Bart cheats and shoots before before they say draw, if I'm not mistaken. So one of these days, my whole thing is I just want to make everything that I like. And one of these days, I'll make an album, even though I'm not a musician. Whenever I talk about making music, I always have to say I'm not a musician because, well, just because. Because, I don't know. Anyway, because that's what I was trying to do when I was like 20. I had a whole album planned, and I think we made like 8 tracks. And I think I've only played like 2, maybe 3 tracks from it on this channel. But, yeah, maybe 4. I don't know. But we made like less than half the album, I think. And now when I hear half those tracks, especially like even the ones that I liked the most, I'm just like, But my 11-year-old brother at the time was helping me make the tracks because he was learning Fruity Loops, and I would just kind of dictate to him like everything that I wanted. Really, having just picked it up and learned it, and he's even better now. And now my other brother, like my other brother Liam, he does that kind of stuff now too, and he's always kind of saying we gotta make that album. Or some album. He wants to help me make something sometime. So someday. Oh, I didn't understand what I was saying here. I thought one leg was the other leg, and it looked really strange. So yesterday I was talking with my friend Kat, and this is her husband. And both of their links are in the description. Kat makes like cool jewelry stuff, like laser cut jewelry and accessories and stuff. Like she's got a lot of these like hotel style keychains, and I know she's got a bunch of earrings and things like that she puts together and designs. And then yeah, Chris is in. I keep meaning to like expand that link list into like a whole big. Oh, why am I doing that? I'll never truly know why I just did that. I think I was about to make the ground black. I'll leave it at that. I'll fix that later. Oh, I know how I started that. I just kind of kept going on autopilot there. But yeah, I kind of want to make a big old friends of the show list of links to put. I keep not taking time to add to that. It's coming after them now. Because I think he was starting to threaten the king. The king goes, guards! Okay. Man, I've been on an hour and a half and I'm on the second panel. It's terrible. I thought this one was going to go by super fast. I thought I'd be done with the page by now. I think it's all that fine detail. It gets kind of weedy. Just these random bricks on the ground. This whole castle is just random shaped bricks all over. So you guys see this line was kind of in danger of being a tangent. I realized as I came to the corner of this line and that line. Now, normally I would have moved. I think I was trying to move it to avoid that, so those lines wouldn't meet, because it kind of connects. It kind of makes a corner you don't want. Like, it's called a tangent, or like when you see, there's almost one here, arm, because it kind of creates. It doesn't connect. It kind of looks like on screen that it does, but that's kind of the problem with it. It kind of makes an argument a little bit with the lines, where it's like you don't want it to. So what I did, I kind of gave it a bit more weight to hopefully separate it from him a little bit. I mean, the colors will help too, but I try to avoid stuff like that at the drawing level if I can help it. You know, sometimes crud finds a way, but I'm gonna take 2 seconds to pour myself a new cup of tea. I just heated it already. I'm in the hallway. But yeah, so a little while ago I pulled out that book Creature Tech by Doug TenNapel. So Doug TenNapel, now when I was in art school, my buddy Zach, who's kind of chatted with me on the show before, he I remember when I was going to art school, one day he told me about this webcomic that the guy who created Earthworm Jim was making, called Rat Fist. I'll pull that one out here. See, this is why it takes me 2 hours to draw 2 panels. So that's a cool cover. I mean, this book is. So anyway, Rat Fist. It was a webcomic that the creator of Earthworm Jim, Doug TenNapel, did in 2011. And I was like, oh man, really? He's doing a webcomic? I loved Earthworm Jim as a kid. Though I could never get past the 3rd level because it was impossible. It was an impossible game. But it was a fun, cool game, right up my alley. And my dad never played any video games as long as I've known him. But he always would crack up when Earthworm Jim would go, ow! And I kind of have accidentally adopted that lately, where every time I hit my head on the camera here, I go, ow! But yeah, I read Rat Fist as it was like being updated, like in 2011. After that, or after my buddy told me about it, and he would post it 5 days a week. He would post 1 page 5 days a week, and it's a real cool looking book, but it's also like one of his sloppiest looking books. And look, for the printed version, he added like a 4-page, like, herbs, maybe like, yeah, I think it was a 4-page Earthworm Jim little story where Earthworm Jim runs into Rat Fist. And it's there's some really cool art in it, but it's also some of its sloppiest, wildest art. And I think that was kind of the whole point of that book, to just do something like real violent and crazy looking. So he just took like this big old horsehair brush and jammed out those pages. But like, even story wise, it is probably the wildest, craziest, weirdest story. It's almost like his least responsible story. You know what I mean? Like, it, it's it's kind of like deliberately sloppy all around. But I think it was an experiment in doing something new, just to see how quick he could work or something. But anyway, it's almost a miracle in how goofy and kind of sloppy it is. How it's almost a miracle that it caught my attention the way it did. Me to check out Creature Tech, and that's when I was really sold on him. Creature Tech, like the end, yeah, that's why I didn't spoil it actually. Like what happens at the end, because I don't know. Like when I got through this book, I was just like blown away. I was First of all, I was sold on Doug TenNapel's art and his comics. I was like, I got to read them all. But I think that's kind of when I kind of knew I wanted to do comics. Uh, but I don't know, when I read that book, and then ultimately his other Doug TenNapel's other books, it kind of made me realize, like, oh yeah, I didn't realize you could do like this in comics. I didn't realize like you could tell like big stories. And I don't know, it just kind of like changed my perspective on how I don't know how big comics could be. Like, till then, I'd only really read Jonan Vasquez's stuff. You know, he's got just 24-page books. I mean, they were just short format stories. I mean, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, it's kind of telling a story across the 7 books, but it's still like kind of episodic. And in each of those 7 books, there's like, it's 4 pages of, or it'll be like a 6-page Johnny story, then a 4-page Meanwhile, and then a 4-page Wobbly Headed Bob, and then like 8 more pages of John. You know what I mean? Like, so out of all 7 of those Johnny the Homicidal Maniac books, you probably get, let's see, I'm gonna say probably about 84 pages of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac story. And it's not all continuous. You know what I mean? It's not like one outright story. It kind of, I don't know. It like Doug TenNapel was telling like full movies in his books. And I don't know, kind of woke me up to that. And he was just kind of like making a case for what was rolling around in his heart a little bit. And when I say that, I should say that as much as his opinions can bug people, he really tailors his stories more for everybody rather than, you know, the kind of stuff that gets under people's skin. And yeah, that guy can draw and that guy can tell a story. Man, his Bigfoot Bill books, there's only 2 of them out so far. He's working on 3 right now. Well, yeah, he's working on the 3rd one right now. And man, when I got the second printing of Bigfoot Bill 1, where he added a bit more to the story and kind of touched it up a bit. I got that second printing when I got the second book. The second printing of the first book along with the second book, right? And I read them back to back, and I was just like, dude, this is it's so good. It's so good. He's really he's getting better. And let me show these things off a little bit. So, see, yeah, this is why it's taking me so long to draw. But so I always back his crowdfunding stuff because he delivers, man. First of all, he's on time, or I mean, stuff always happens in campaigns, but he is, if not on time, so close to it, even when disaster strikes. But he's putting out these big fancy books for like $25 so far every time. And they're hardcover, gold gilded edges, foil on the cover. There's a glow in the dark page on this. There's a fold out page. It's signed. This is the first Earthworm Jim book. And when I got to the end of this, I was like, holy cow, that was so well done. This one, it's good, but it just felt like an episode of Earthworm Jim. Like I wasn't, my jaw didn't drop when I finished this one, but I mean, it's still, that's not to say it's not a good story. It's not a good book, but there wasn't anything that made me go, whoa, but really fun. And I love those Earthworm Jim books too. But here's the Bigfoot Bill books I was talking about. Let me show you the first edition of Bigfoot Bill 1. So, and these are all like what? Like 9.5 by like 12. So they're big books too. So this is Bigfoot Bill. This is the first printing. I have this on my wall back there. I have the original page, which I got for pretty cheap. I'll show you this page here, which I remember watching him draw on YouTube. And it was like one of the first pages he did. Oh, like the first page he did was this one, right? And then next day, he did a video of this one. And yeah, I have the original art on my wall. It's really inspiring and cool to have. It's beautiful inking that he did. I wish it was colored a little more elaborately. Well, I think he might have touched it up in this second printing a little bit, maybe. But yeah, man, Bigfoot Bill. I will always vouch for his for backing his campaigns. You're doing a disservice if you like comics. You're doing a disservice to yourself if you're not backing him. And yeah, so the second edition, when he released the second book, he put out the second book. He did like a slightly expanded second printing of this one, where he added a bunch of pages and kind of like bumped up the story a little bit. And he worked in these like concept paintings in a couple spots of the book where it kind of like added a bit more to the story too. And then between these two books, I feel like he's going somewhere great. Oh man, this was like a big promo page for the campaign. Poseidon, the bad guy Poseidon, is going to destroy LA with a giant tidal wave. And here's the Loch Ness Monster. Dude, you have no idea. So all these cryptids, for example, Bigfoot, unicorns, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra is Bigfoot Bill's buddy. They're all real, but they're kept in a top secret government facility. And then and Poseidon is there too, right? And he kind of helps to arrange. He kind of like arranges this prison break. They all get out and kind of into the world, and Bigfoot Bill is seizing that opportunity to go find his family. And his buddy is this agent, this government agent, Agent Beckner. And Bigfoot Bill like helps him with dating advice and stuff like that. And so they're friends, but then once Bigfoot Bill kind of like learns the nature of the facility that they're in, like that they're all kind of prisoners there, it kind of puts this rift between their friendship. But Beckner really does care about Bigfoot Bill. They're just it's like but he has to do his job. But then it kind of puts him at odds with his job and his friendship, right? Beautiful stuff. I'm gonna get back to work though. Right for myself. But yeah, the end of the second book, I am just so excited for more. And it's usually he was putting out 2 books a year. He would put out a Bigfoot Bill book. What are they? 160-page Bigfoot Bill book, 160-page Earthworm Jim book. He put them both out in the course of a year. So every 6 months, he was putting out a big old book, more or less 6 months. And so he put out both Bigfoot Bill one, Earthworm Jim one, within about a year of each other. Then same with the next year, he put out Bigfoot Bill 2, Earthworm Jim 2. And he was taking a break for a while to really like figure out the remaining book, the remaining script for Bigfoot Bill. He was talking about doing 5 books for Bigfoot Bill. I don't know if he's gonna try and do it a shorter run than that now, but I know he's trying to figure out the end before he continues telling the story, because he wants to make sure he gets everything done just right. And but so far, oh man, it's so exciting. I forget why I brought any of that up to begin with. Like, did it have something to do with what I was drawing? Maybe, but I don't remember now. So that was a field trip, a side adventure in our video here. I think that all just started with me just talking about creature tech a little bit. Yeah. Oh man, it's noon. So I gotta go. I'm gonna go meet my cousin today. See his new place. Which is to say, I think when I do finish this page, I'm gonna try and get some other stuff done instead of starting that other page today. I don't think I thought I was gonna get to that page today, but I am anxious to do that robot smashing one. Oh, I just ordered a book last night. I don't even know if it's going to be in English. It might be in Spanish, but I think the version I ordered was in English, which I haven't seen before. I've looked for it before, and he's only had them available in Spanish. There's this guy, Oscar Martin, who does. I follow him on Instagram, and he does this book called Solo, and it's like this big rat guy, and it's like classic animation meets like barbarian stuff. It looks so beautiful. It's like stuff, and he does like Tom and Jerry books all the time or something like that, like for a living. So he's like a total classic animation artist kind of guy. And dude, the Solo Cannibal Universe or Solo Universe. I always see titles, but let me see what the one I bought was called. I bought it from BarnesandNoble.com, and I was trying to find it elsewhere, and I was seeing the same book for like $400. So I don't know what. Oh, Chris sent me Black Hat Bart. I didn't realize he sent it. I'm gonna play it. You know, let me talk about this real quick first. It is Oscar Martin's Solo Volume One, and there is a Volume Two out there. It's called Solo Volume One: The Survivors of Chaos, and I got it for $36. That's including the shipping. It was like $30 on BarnesandNoble.com, and that guy is awesome. So it's like I don't even care if it arrives in Spanish. I want that art in my collection. You know what I mean? I want that book in my collection. And I think it's a 64-page book. It said, but there's a volume two out there somewhere. I hope I can find volume two in you know, like for a reasonable price first in English, like to match the first volume. But like I say, if I can't read it, I'm not even going to be all that bummed out. It looks so amazing. I finally found a version that I could buy. I don't know. I would also like, whenever he wraps it up, I'd like a collection, like a big book. But yeah, let's check out this song. I haven't heard this in years. It's called Black Hat Bart. It was written by my roommate Tyler, who and then Chris, who is Data Lecher on Spotify, on Amazon. It's his album of the same title. That's there. The links are in the description too. But he helped my roommate make this like screwy song. And I'm somewhere on there going, yeah. And what else can I say? I don't know. We were gonna make. I think the idea was to make a video, and I never made time to do it. I don't know if I'll get time to do it anytime soon either. But let's see. Let's check it out.
Black Hat Bart was a mean old cuz, flying his icebergs covered in rust. He'd ride and he'd holler and he'd shoot all day, looking for trouble to get in his way. Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. His hat was black and his name was Bart. One fateful day, Bart rode into town, fresh from putting another man in the ground. The townsfolk all ran in fear as they heard the cries Bart wasn't near. Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. His hat was black and so was his heart. Now the sheriff there was no match against a gun like Bart's. You had to be fast. Time seemed to slow to a crawl as everyone heard Bart yell, "Draw!" Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. His hat was black and his name was Bart. Now the townsfolk all gathered around as they looked at the man lying dead on the ground. Everyone cheered in sighed relief, with the sheriff staring in disbelief. Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. Gone were the days of Black Hat Bart. Now the townsfolk peace didn't last too long, and evil-eyed Bart's was just too strong. They all dropped one by one from the ghost of Bart having fun. Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. Town would hate for stealing his heart. If you think this tale just ain't true, you'd best heed the words I'm telling you. Bart's ghost is still out there, looking to put a bullet in your ear. Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. Never this world would have stolen his heart. Black Hat Bart, Black Hat Bart. His hat was black and his name was Bart. His hat was black and his name was Bart.
So wonderful. You should see the smile on my face. Oh. Thank you for sending that. His hat was black and his name was Bart. Yeah, and I think the idea was to make kind of like a Halloween kind of little cartoon video to it. It was going to open on this skeleton sitting around a campfire strumming a guitar, which is the thing that was the thumbnail art yesterday. And he's going to be like, gather around, everybody, you cowpokes. Listen here, I got a tale to tell you, or whatever. And then he's gonna lead into the song, and then I started like character designs, and that was as far as I got for whatever reason. See, and that was when I actually had time to make it, so I should have. That was the kind of stuff I was always regretting. It's like, how come I never make anything? And the biggest part of the problem is never starting anything, or never following through on anything, rather. But that was a fun day. We went over and recorded that. After, I don't think I was supposed to be a part of the the vocal recording. I think I was just there. And the music, because I think that was the first me and Tyler had heard the music, like when we went over to their place, so we could help record the vocals or direct or something. And I heard the music, and I think I just kept yelling. I kept being inspired to yell, "Yeah!" And that got thrown in. Man, the guitar on that is so cool. So yesterday I was talking about a little bit, like I've been checking out Mr. Show, which I never really saw much of before. And like I like it in a similar vein to how I like old Adult Swim stuff, because it seems so like homemade and punk rock, and like I could make this. I could make this. Um and then I hear like the music on that, because they do a lot of like parody songs and like fake music and musical stuff on that show. But the music is always so like, I don't know, like it sounds like it was made on toys instead of like actual instruments. I'm like, actual musicians made the music on this show? Why does it sound like so phony? And maybe it's played for laughs or something like that, but I know a lot of music on TV in those days kind of sounded like that. And I wonder what the reason is. Because it's like, my friend's a musician and he's making music that sounds like that. Like that. Oh man, that's so cool. That gets me even more in the spirit of like, man, me and my friends, we should all be making something. Because we could blow this world apart. But you know, everyone's got their own thing going on. That's the hard part. I've been listening to them nonstop for the last few months. Who, Bob and David? Of Mr. Show? Are they doing something? Like, is there a podcast or something? Oh, Ween? Oh. What earlier comment? I don't see nothing about no Ween. You're crazy. You're making it up. All I know by Ween is Ocean Man, which I like. I think I listened to another track once, and it wasn't as grabby on me. Yeah, I don't see anything about Ween before that, but do they? Do they always have effects on their voice? It's what I've heard of them. Like I may have heard a couple other songs, but they always sound like deep or maybe high pitched sometimes. It always sounds like their voice has been like affected some way. Oh, okay. Not always, but often. Yeah, I think the Ocean Man song, I know it from, I think maybe Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, and the SpongeBob movie. But it's a good song. It's a really fun song. But then beyond that, I don't really know much about them. Haven't heard stuff past the mid 90s. Yeah, I think they're still doing stuff, I think is my understanding. They seem like something I might be into if I investigated enough. I just think when I heard other songs, it just didn't hit me the right way. Oops. Yeah, so I never dug a little deeper on them. But maybe I will. I had to sneak off for a split second and run my brush under some water to kind of get the gum out of the bristles. After a while, usually about 2 hours, all the ink in the brush kind of starts hardening up, making it hard to get a good point. Yeah, I've heard of this album before, and the title of it just makes me not want to look into it. But I've heard that's a good album. He says Chocolate and Cheese is probably their most famous album. It's got a lot of classics. I'm sure true Ween fans would crucify me, but I'd start with that one. Okay. I think I almost did a long time ago, but yeah, I think the title kind of put me off of it. But I will check that out. Do you know much? The one I keep thinking lately about is what are they called? Dang it. Stacy's mom. Oh, Fountains of Wayne. Those guys. I keep thinking that I might be into them if I look into them a little more. I listened to most of one of their albums lately. I don't even know what it was called. It was the one with Hack and Sack on it. Because I heard that track and I fell in love with it. And then one of my favorite bands, Local H, who, as far as I can tell, does not sound like Fountains of Wayne, did a cover of it. They put out a cover of it recently. And first of all, it's like totally a song that guy would do. And oh man, it was like that's the second time where I like was like, man, this is a great song. And then Local H put out a cover of it. But I only know Stacy's mom and haven't heard their albums. Yeah, same here. The one I really like by them that isn't Stacy's mom is the one that I always kind of associated with them more was Julie. That Julie, I swear it's so hard to bear it, and that guy. I never really dug too deep. But when I heard Hack and Sack, I went into Spotify and listened to almost that whole album before I had to like turn off Spotify for whatever reason. And there's a couple tracks that I really liked on that. I don't know if that was their first album or what. Something made me think it might be their first album. But Hackensack was a song I liked a lot. Oh, and that guy, the guy in that band, I only knew of him because he helped produce the album Mink Car by They Might Be Giants. His name's Adam Schlesinger. He was like one of the first names I recognized that died of COVID. Like one of the first people I was aware of that died of COVID. And he was pretty young. I think he was like 50, maybe 50. Let me see. He was 52. And without even knowing much about the band, it really bummed me out for some reason. And I think that's when I first started thinking about them anyway. Like just but for some reason since then that band's been kind of occupying my mind, but I haven't been actively looking into them. Like that song came on Spotify just randomly like a year later, and they've just kind of been on my mind for some reason, but I haven't been too active in looking into them. They just kind of keep coming up, which is how I tend to fall in love with things like ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. Oh yeah, yeah. I just told Kat about that too. Look at my inky hands. Yeah, yeah. I mentioned it to Kat. Yeah, that was a drag that I heard when I heard that. I thought it was a, I thought it was a prank or something. I Yeah, he died in some kind of accident. I don't think it was announced beyond that. Um, but yeah, me and Tyler and our friend, who I haven't seen in a long time, so I can't think of her name right now. Denise. We we were just flipping through channels and discovered that show, White as Kids You Know, which was a sketch comedy show. And the first thing we saw was this, like, we stopped on it. It was this, Trevor Moore was strumming the guitar and singing a song about, like, parents not being fair or something like that. And what you can do to get rid of your dad and get a new daddy. Let's see. I couldn't get the jingle for Black Doctor out of my head, so I looked it up. Kat thought it was because of Trevor's death, but nope, just really like racist sketches. I don't even know that one off the top of my head. I if it was on White as Kids You Know, I certainly must have heard it before, but that doesn't ring a bell. But I know they put out at least one like album of like audio sketches and songs. One of the other first things that comes to mind was Hitler driving down the streets in a fancy car. It's a pitch meeting for new shows, and each one is progressively more racist. I was just thinking about I gotta watch it. The one where Trevor barges into like some Hollywood exec office, and he just like he runs in, slams the door shut, and just starts pitching ideas because he snuck in, and he's like, okay, so there's this dinosaur, right? And he's just like going right into pitches and like just rapid fire shooting them at them, and everyone in the room is like, "Hey, are you supposed to be?" And then they like start hearing what he's saying, and they're like, "Wait, keep going, keep going!" And then he's just like pitching all these like crazy ideas for movies and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah!" They're like cheering him on and like, "What else you got?" And then yeah, good stuff. Whitest Kids You Know. It was hilarious, goofy sketch comedy show. And I think they were just like wrapping up a movie. I heard. I think Tyler was telling me. They just like recorded they just finished recording dialogue for some animated movie that they were making. I think they were about to start like doing new stuff, like a bunch of new stuff. I think he just started a talk show online or something like that. And he had I think he has a young son, like maybe a newborn son. And man, that really it just bums me out that he's gone. He was like 40, 41. Let's see. I need a point. Okay. Then there's the classic. I think it might have been in that first episode that we watched. But the classic Abraham Lincoln Hamlet sketch where it's like Abraham Lincoln and his wife or whatever. They're at Ford's Theater, presumably, and they're watching a play, but it's not This American Cousin or whatever that's called. They're watching Hamlet, but this version of Hamlet is apparently about vampires. And which has nothing to do with the sketch. It's just like nonsense in the background of the sketch. And some guy. Oh no, it's Abraham Lincoln keeps heckling the actors on stage. Like, rewind the play. I had to go to the bathroom, so I couldn't watch. Rewind the play 5 minutes. And he's just harassing the actor. Like, calling him fat and stuff. And he's not even fat. Hey, Acty. Hey, Acty. Hey, Acty, what? I don't even remember. But it is hysterical. Like, Abraham Lincoln is just this obnoxious tool in this sketch. Let's see. So it's about the time. It's usually around 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's like I start having a harder time getting the lines out of the brush that I want. Let's see. Well, let me do these little lines here. Okay. Hey, you know what I was wondering? So what's the deal with Caldera collapse and data Lecher or data Lecher? Like are because I thought Caldera was the band name, at least at one point. Maybe now, currently. Is there something else I could put a link to, or should put a link to rather? Inconsistent branding. Well, is there like a maybe one that's like a solo gig, and then one is with other guys? Oh, so I started with the Caldera, which was the live rock band. Okay. And my electronica side project is the data lecture. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I was starting to wonder. I was like, should I be like putting up a link to something with Caldera over data lecture? I was like, I hope I'm not just like giving links to like a dead project when there's like something more helpful to link to. At some point, I decided to create a label umbrella thing for all music stuff under Caldera Collapse. Whoa, how'd that get orange? What's orange? The highlighting only shows up for me since it's my YouTube handle. Oh, like on your name? Because it looks like my name, Ryan O'Connor, is like in an orange box. If that's what you're talking about. Let's see, this butt situation is weird. If you know what I mean. Yeah, I bet Ryan O'Connor will highlight for you. Oh yeah. I see what you're talking about because you said it and it showed up. Yeah. But the Bandcamp site has both Caldera and Data Electro Music, plus streaming, download, CD purchasing. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can put that in. That sounds like a better thing to have. Let's see. Oops. It links to every place the album shows up. The Bandcamp is where I direct most folks. Okay. I remember that being a thing. I just forgot about it because I don't know. Bandcamp isn't on my radar too much. Though I'm sure I've used it before. Like I've checked out artists on that before, but I used to get well, I know how it is to like keep up with stuff like that. I was gonna say I used to get a newsletter from you. I think I might have gotten one in the past year. Come to think of it. I think maybe about the time you were moving. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get going with all this stuff. Like, I want to start a shop. Like, Kat's been like bombarding me, not on her part, just at me asking questions. Like, she's just like this fire hose of information, and on like how to start a shop and all the stuff that I kind of need to think about. And like the more I start thinking about how to shape a business out of what I'm trying to do, um, the more I'm like, how am I ever going to keep up with it? I was trying to write musical blog posts in addition to self promo stuff. Were you doing like doing like a new song every newsletter or something, or at least like process like demos of songs and stuff? I think I remember that. Let me see. I'm gonna do another. I've probably played this one before, but I gotta do another song because I have to leave, if you catch my meaning. Um, Hang it. Oh, no. Okay, I'm gonna play this little piece of music real quick. Um, I made this by myself in some kind of app that doesn't exist anymore, and I'll be right back. back, everybody. They said I couldn't. They said I wouldn't come back. But what do they know? Not so much. Just about writing about the creative process. Okay. I know you were updating very frequently for a while. And I think I remember you posting or putting like a demo or something in at least one, maybe two of them. But yeah, I remember you talking about it. Was probably the making of that Data Lecher album, if I'm not mistaken. Took just as long as the song Good Timing. Yeah, that was, I think I'm 2 for 2 on that now, I guess. I didn't realize, I didn't know how long it was over by the time I got back. Dang it. I can't work in these conditions. Okay. Stinking tip keeps splitting. This guy's name is Horace. He's kind of Denton Crux's lab assistant. Look, he's being all brash and argumentative and feisty, and he's just okay. Sorry, bye, bye. So there's 3 little flashbacks throughout the book where we kind of get more on Denton Crux's backstory, and it just kind of explains what's going on with him from his point of view. And this is the first 24 pages of the book. We kind of see what part of his deal. I've been meaning to get off my duff and make more music for a while now, but have yet to really get started. If you want to get topical, getting started is hard. Yeah, I should lay off the tea with all the bathroom running I'm doing. I should focus more on getting this page done. Yeah, have you been making any music lately? No, then. I feel like you're, at least my imaginary version of you, I feel like you're always noodling around on some project. Yeah, I gotta come up with more topics before I dive into the show, because I was really able to just come into this one firing on all cylinders. I feel like it's like usually I'm trying to start the video and I'm like, I don't know what it should be about. I record I recorded some tracks for other folks, and I'm finishing up a remaster of my friend's album. Nothing of my own, really. Oh, okay. Yeah, my one brother, trying to he was making stuff with my other brother for a long time, the one that was helping me make tracks back in the day, Jimmy. So Liam was kind of like learning from my brother Jimmy for a while how to use like MIDI keyboards and play the keyboard in general, and um, mess with Fruity Loops. And it was like, also he plays the drums, Liam, and though I don't think he's used the actual drums on his own projects so far, which he really should. He's a great drummer. Um, he's self-taught on that too, but he's got a great ear for it, and I mean, what do I know? Like, I'm no musician, but it sounds like to me like he's a really great drummer. But he was learning all this other stuff from my brother Jimmy, and now Jimmy never has time for it because he's got like a full-time job and 3 kids, three three boys, all under the age of 5. Um, so Jimmy tries to get stuff. He tries to mess around with that stuff still once in a while, but Liam's trying to like get more proficient at it now, and I think he wants to put out an album eventually, like pretty soon, in the next like year or two. But he's put out a few EPs, I think, on Spotify and iTunes. And he's kind of nuts. He's always like shouting like strange things in the middle of his vocals, like yeah, or I don't know. He just like, I think it was yeah. It was some there's something that he, in the first like 2 dozen tracks he made, like you just hear yeah, like in the middle of it somewhere. But he just like piles vocals and vocals and vocals into a track, and it's like there was a song he was working on recently, I think it was the one called Cyclone. I think that one, where I heard the track that he put together, and it was so it was so rich of like, it was such a big track. And then I heard the instrumental that, like, he some guy made him a track, and it was like underneath this song that Liam put together. And when I heard the instrumental part, it was so, it was just like a loop over and over. It was like barely anything. And I had no idea that the music part of it was that simple because of how involved all the vocal parts that were playing together. It was basically like this big a cappella thing with like almost like a loop underneath it. I was like, man, he really beefed this up with just vocals pretty much. He'll put like, I don't know, 12 straight tracks of vocals or something, and then like a bunch of like fill-in-y things. I don't know. I barely know what I'm talking about, but I was kind of impressed. But I think more and more he's learning how to make his own music. And I'm pretty sure he's putting together a bunch of tracks right now, hopefully for an album he's trying to make. Actually, I don't think that was Cyclone. I think it was something newer, come to think of it. Let me see. I'm sidetracking myself again. Let's see. It can't be that far back, I don't think. Yeah, here's where holy crap, I couldn't even tell it was just a simple loop you were singing over until the end. So much of the music is your vocals. That's kind of crazy. Let me see. It's called Sick, I guess. I don't know what, I don't remember what the lyrical content of this is.
Words cut like a razor. I'm gonna flip out. Baby, we made this. Pushing our head down a building with Pisa. We setting it straight now. We setting it straight now. We setting it straight now. Off on the surface, I get this shit buffed out. I just get these moves things where I cannot come down. So baby, I'd rather you trip now than having you walk out. When I'm watching you do that, I'm sick of the hit. It's one of my stuff now. It's having me sick. This love is having me sick. It's having me sick. This love is having me sick. It's having me sick. This love is having me sick. It's having me sick. This love is having me sick.
And the whole back half of the track is just that loop. He was still putting it together when he sent this to me. And I was like, wait a minute, that's all that's playing in the whole thing. Because I think I was on a stream while he was kind of working on it, and he was kind of telling me about it, and he played it on camera, and then later on he sent me this. So that little loop was made by somebody. They wanted to give it to him to do something over, I guess. And he started making that track. I wonder if he's finished that by now. Yeah. And he always throws all these like yelps and weird things in the vocals. And then he's got like just so much going on with the vocals, I feel like. Oof. Why does this page take me so long? It shouldn't be taking me this. Well, I do keep getting sidetracked, I guess. But it's okay. We'll finish it. And there's that. Put his arm over here. His spacesuit. I like how thick that went. That's okay. I can fix that. Sure, I can. Now, as much like you can hear how like that. I think that track is a good example of how like kind of wild he gets with the vocal stuff because he does so much with it. There's so much going on there. Um, he's the same way. I mean, if you meet Liam, like he's been a lot more subtle when he's been on this show. Like I put him on, I called him on FaceTime a few days ago, and he just talked to me for 3 hours, and he was a lot more subtle than he is in real life because everything's like very big and over. Like he walks into the room and he kind of just he's like the center of attention most of the time. Because he's so goofy and stuff. And but so like when he gets behind the drums, he's a nut there too. So I think I'm pretty sure I've told him this before too. It's like he should make his own dang beats. It would be insane. Like his drumming and his vocals would like I think that would be nuts. Because I don't think he's ever put his drumming on one of his own tracks for some reason. But he needs to like figure out how to start recording his drums. Though I don't think his drum set is set up right now. But I think he needs to like get it set up for like a month or so and just record all kinds of stuff. Dang it. Not the thickness I wanted, by which I mean too thick. Okay, so we established that getting started is the hardest part here today on the program. But I'd say the next hardest part is to keep going. Just doing anything is hard, I guess, is really what I'm saying here. Doing anything at all is hard. But like, you know, I feel like so much of making art is getting discouraged by what you're making. Like even just doing the panels on this page, I overshot this corner and took the line too far. And I'm sure this page is riddled with mistakes. Like his butt line is too thick there. It's a lot more subtle when I look at it on the camera. But like, it's all stuff that, especially like when I was a teenager, would totally stop me from finishing this page. And I would start it over or something. And then I would start every dang page over like 3 or 4 times, and then I'd eventually give up on the project and start a new one. That's kind of the artist's way. I think a lot of artists are very flighty about, not, and obviously not all artists, but I think that it's a big thing among artists to get discouraged and move to the next project or something, or just abandon stuff and kind of flake out. Let's see. My butt line is too thick too. Tell me about it, Tiger. I said butt line. Let's see. But like, you know, if you're doing your best to begin with, the mistakes are hopefully not bad enough that they can't be fixed. I think when I was like a teenager, covering up like mistakes in whiteout wasn't actually fixing it, because the whiteout was kind of ugly on the paper. But it's not like every professional artist doesn't use whiteout on their pages. Like any artist I know, when they break down their tools, they're telling you, I use this brush, I use this pen, I use this ink, I use this whiteout. you know? I think there was kind of a thing where I thought that was kind of cheating or something. Or I would just get discouraged by seeing white on the page or something. Actually, I was too afraid to even ink most of the time. My drawings, I would do comics all the time in high school, and I barely ever inked them. I remember I did one 2-page comic that starred me and all my friends. I don't remember what it was about, but like, I don't know what happened in it, but I actually inked the whole thing and colored it in Prismacolor markers. But it was just some screw around thing that I finished, and then everything important, I kind of got cold feet on and never finished. Never followed through on. And, I think you can't let fear kind of stop you. I should probably not be going heavy on that side. I should be going heavy on the top side. What a maroon. See, I'm messing things up left and right. But, what is it? The show must go on. That we're going to leave. It's on top of another brick, so it's going to be thinner on top. Oops. Like that. I go, oops. When I draw some stupid line. I kind of learned to start treating my mistakes a lot more casually. And it kind of helps me keep my head in the game when I mess stuff up, I guess. Like, I'll fix it. No big deal. Hey, my roommate's on. I think I saw a shadow that. Yeah, I didn't fill in the shadow somewhere. That panel up there. Let's make these lines a little less, a little more confident, a little more present. Make them connect. Okay. Pardon me. Okay. My butt line is too thick. I gotta head off, get lunch, going. Book's looking great. Thank you. No, thanks for talking with me. Man, thanks for hanging out this whole time. Enjoy lunch. Good to hear from you. Good to talk to you. We'll see you some other time. Thanks for sending me that song too. I needed to pump up the entertainment value of this show. He says this, and I say this back. Thanks, Chris. Take care. My friends are so good to me. Always popping in on the show. I'll have to throw his Bandcamp link in there. Which will kind of like be more content, it sounds like. You can check him out there. I'll do that. After I get off here, once I finish this panel, I'm I think I'm gonna cook some food. I don't even know what. And probably do. Oh, I've got a few things I gotta do, which includes a sketchbook drawing and then I'm going to my cousin's place this evening. I'm not sure what time he's quite expecting me over, so I probably gotta call him. Oh, and then my buddy Ben wanted to call me at some point, I think, just to catch up. He's living out in Seattle. Crazy old Seattle. Gotta draw a space helmet, huh? Stupid circles. Oof. I want tea. Oh. Mama. Yeah, this this brush is looking fried. Look at my nose. I've been doing that this whole time. It's even still in there. Get out of my face.